Thank you very much for getting time to spend this evening with the Mindset Club for Success. And let me go ahead and introduce the speaker for today. He's a strategic management personality, and he has got his certificate from the Illinois University. He was into the leadership position in operations management. He has also has a certificate from the Darren School of Business Management, Virginia University, for design thinking. Yeah, that's what I feel. In today's scenario, I could see many people using all these techniques for design thinking. He has 3 decades of corporate experience. He held a position of MD, okay, and also a CEO. Just imagine, a lot of experience. He's into the project management, marketing management, and apart from that, he is an IITD certified trainer, by which I came personally in communication with Mr. Shyamsunder sir. And I can see that he also conducts a lot of programs for people outside, free of cost, and that's really great. After a person reaches such a great height, and in terms of corporate level, and then giving out, so that is, even in the corporate companies, they have this CSR activity. So he's doing a great deal of work. We all should appreciate him. And as a person, I know him personally, very humble, very down to earth. I have never worked in very high positions in the corporates. I'm just imagining that in today's scenario, when we see people, youngsters going to that high level, they have so much of ego and that and everything. But here we find this great gentleman who is so humble, so quiet, and always a smiling face. I can see that whenever he was presenting, we have done a lot of activities in the groups in IITD. So it was really amazing, very nice to see him. So again, we have him here back. So welcome, Sham Sundar sir, and I hope in future too you would be coming to these sessions and giving a lot of your corporate experience, because we are all here to share experiences so that we can apply it in our daily life. And I also welcome all of them who have joined here, Mr. Ankur, Dr. Shivakumar, our Shivakumar sir. Thank you very much, sir, for joining in. So the platform is yours, Sham Sundar sir. So right
Mm,
now the time is 5:55. You can go up to 6:45. You have 50 minutes in your bucket.
yeah.
And after 45, we'll be having a 15 minutes question and answer session. Anybody has a question, they can put a question to you, and accordingly you can give the answers. So it's all yours, Sham Sundar sir. Have a
Yeah,
great
thank
evening.
you, Pradeep, for that
Thank you
nice
very much.
introduction. And first of all, let me congratulate you for having started this, the Mindset Club for Success. Definitely, we all need success, and you are spreading success. And I would like to welcome all the participants here. They have taken the trouble to come on Sunday, weekend day, that too at 5:30, So I'm very much thankful to you. Thankful to all of you. Well, friends, you all know that, life is not a straight line. It's a roller coaster. Uh, it's not a vertical slope also. We'll have lots of ups and downs in lives. These events, we can't control them. The events, whatever has to happen, will happen. But whatever actions we take, to some extent, they depend on our mindset, because our mindset decides our thoughts, and our thoughts decide our feelings, emotions, and then our actions. So I would like to share one of my life incidents. It's both a combination of personal life as well as the corporate life. So I would like to share that incidents, which has lot of twists, events, and then there is some, some suspense, some drama, all those things. This is a real event. Yeah. In 1999, I got transferred to Mumbai, the financial capital, from a small place outside Bhopal. It was a very small township. So I got transferred. I came there as number 2 there. So for me, it was a good sea of change for me. And then, the Mumbai fellows will appreciate this. My house was, office was just in front of my house in Bandra Kurla complex. There's a 3 minutes walk. If I go by car, it will take 10 minutes. If I walk down, it will take only 3 minutes.
Amazing. Very
I
nice place.
used to come home for lunch. And then, in Mumbai, I traveled in metro only 3 times, that to enjoy the local train experience. So I had never had any experience of traveling in metro there. So the life was comfortable. And the house which the company had provided was a 2,400 square feet penthouse there. So in Bombay, that was a luxury actually. Few of our relatives and then my daughter's friends, they all used to come to see the house. Such a house exists in Mumbai. So my wife was also very happy. And then my daughter was in 4th standard at that time. She got admitted to a school in Poly Hills. The Mumbai fellows knows that Poly Hills is the area where most of the film stars stay there. So Nasiruddin Shah's youngest son, Vivan Shah, who has acted in some film, he was my daughter's classmate there. And then Salman Khan was one of the patron in that school. So whenever we go for any function, all those things, we used to meet all these film stars. So my daughter was very happy because in that school, less of padai, more of activities. So she was happy there. Yeah. And then professionally also, it was good for me. In the next 2 years, I became in charge there. So Mumbai being the financial capital, our chairman from Delhi used to frequently visit Mumbai. And then he used to visit most of the other industrialists, So I got the opportunity to meet Mr. Ratan Tata and Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani across the table and have tea,
Wow,
coffee with them.
amazing.
So that was great. And I also met Mr. K.V. Kamath and Mr. Damodaran, who went on to become SEBI chairman, and many people. And then regularly we used to attend meeting in Mantralaya with the chief secretary, the other industry secretaries, all those things, So in that way, that has given a good opportunity for me to develop my personality development as well as the leadership qualities, because once you interact with those people, naturally you will imbibe some of those characters with them by observing them. So that was a good opportunity. Again, in life, the good things cannot last forever. It has to change. So once our director marketing, he visited Mumbai, he said, enough of regional office for you. Now it is time for you to move to Delhi. At that time, my daughter was in 9th standard. She was moving into 10th standard. We have a policy in our company. If any ward children are studying in 10th standard or 12th standard, they will not be transferred. But in India, we know every rule will have an exception, but this is not applicable to senior officers. And if in the interest of the organization, if transfer has to be done, they can be transferred. So I told my boss, my daughter is in 10th standard. Please spare me for this year. I can join next year. He said, next year I can't guarantee you that that vacancy will be there. What is the problem? You come to Delhi. We have an arrangement with some schools there. Your daughter will get admission there. So then I came and told my wife and daughter. My wife was very angry. She was not ready to come. Daughter was also not ready to come. We had another problem. In Mumbai, most of the schools, apart from the state government schools, are ICSE schools. There are very few CBSE schools are there. Whereas in Delhi, more number of CBSE schools are there. Very few ICSE school. Then in 10th standard, the change of syllabus, change of course itself will also be a problem. So she was not agreeing to come there. And then finally, I requested another boss. He said, okay, you will not be transferred this time. But suddenly my transfer came. This time the chairman himself transferred me with a assignment to bring in some reforms in supply chain management. So that assignment was good, But at the same time, I can't leave my family here also. We have to take care of the family also. Then my wife was telling, you leave the job. You can't leave the job immediately. I told her, okay, let me take some see for 3 4 months, and then we will see. So I left the family in Mumbai, and then I went to Delhi. So I was given a bachelor accommodation there. So I was staying there. And then my daughter was not taking any tuitions. I only used to teach her. So every Friday evening, I used to come by evening flight. And Monday morning, I used to from fly back to Delhi. So it was very physically taxing, and as well as taxing on my purse also, on wallet also. So I started eating into all my savings, shares, everything, started going. But at that time, I thought, giving importance to the family is more important, because the daughter's education is also important. Without me, she may go into a depression also. So in that way, so I used to regularly come. Even in that also, I used to enjoy my journey, because mostly I used to take the late night flights. I used to bump into most of these film actors. Once, Hrithik Roshan traveled with me. Another times Kareena Kapoor traveled. So I used to take their photos as well as their autographs and give it to my daughter. So even in that stress also, I used to trying to find happiness with that. Because of all this, I was also slightly going down. It's probably it's quite natural. However, you motivate yourself, but still you will go down. So then the company came out with a plan that, all the senior officers will be sent to 1 week advanced leadership program at the top institutes all over the world, like Harvard, Wharton, Kellogg's, and London School of Business. So my name came for Kellogg's. So I thought it's an opportunity to enter into the Kellogg's itself is a great opportunity. Yeah. So then I was getting prepared. So 3 batches went. So I was to go in 1 month. Then suddenly ministry came out with a circular that, because of due to the economic constraints, all these training seminars will be kept on hold. You know, when the economy goes down, it is the training part in any corporate which is going to be closed fast. So then again, I was disappointed what to do it. It's all, whatever has to happen. Then, they say, if one door closes, another door opens. So after 2 months, there another opportunity came. This was on the invitation of the American government. Mr. Manmohan Singh, the then Prime Minister, and George Bush, the then US President, they had signed an energy cooperation agreement between India and USA. So under that, they had made some committees. So I was made part of one sub committee. So they were selected some 15 officers from various sectors to go to USA and to interact with our counterparts there, and to come out with some agenda, the cooperation points, wherever we can, the two countries can cooperate. So that was good, going to USA on the invitation of the American government, and all expenses borne by the American government. So that was a good one. So then I looked at my passport. My passport was short of 1 month, because once you land there, you should have at least 6 months of validity is there. So mine was only a 5 months. Then the next task was to get the passport renewed. So I thought, let me get my passport renewed from Mumbai, because my family was in Mumbai. I had an address also there. So then one of my colleague, he was from IIM Lucknow. He said, sir, my batchmate is the passport officer there. He will help you. I will speak to him. So he spoke to him. So in those days, even the Tatkal passport used to take 15 days to 1 month.
Yes, yes.
The normal passport is to take 3 months. Unlike now, it's 3 4 days you will get the passport. So I went and met the passport officer. He welcomed me with open arms. He offered me tea, coffee, biscuits. And then, because I'm his batchmate's boss, so he treated me like his own boss. And then I gave all the documents to him. He said, sir, you will get on this date. So I thanked him and came back. And then I went on that day, collected my passport. So went and applied for the visa. So visa interview date came. And in that, actually they had written, you are not to bring any closed folders, files, everything. You're not to bring any closed folders, American embassy. And like an idiot, I followed them verbatim. I took one plastic folder. In those days, it used to come, only the plastic, only the upside is open. There are three sides, it's open. So I took in that. I went in the office car only. Then got down from the car and I went to the counter to deposit my passport. I see my passport is not there. I'd lost my passport. Yeah. So, and in fact, I was just flabbergasted at that time. I didn't know what to do. I didn't make any inquiries or anything. They just crestfallen. I just came back, office, for 2-3 days. I didn't do anything. Then some of our friends, they said, "Arey, why do you worry? Why don't you apply for another passport? Duplicate passport, you can apply. Still there is time." Then for that, we will have to apply for, you'll have to lodge an FIR with the police. So I took our help of our security chief and lodged an FIR at the RK police station there in Delhi. That was the first time I went to a police station in my life. So the police also, they gave that FIR copy. And with the copy, again, I went to Mumbai. Again, my friend, my colleague had spoken to that passport officer. So this time he was a bit rough. He was telling me, how can you lose your passport being such a senior officer? This is the last time I'm going to help you. Otherwise, next time onwards, you'll never get your passport. All those things he said, Then I requested him, sir, can you make it faster? Because the time is nearing. It's only 20 days left. Otherwise, I will not be able to go there. He said, no, sorry, our process is a process. It takes this much of time. I can't help you. He said very rudely. So then what to do? I gave it to him and then went home. I'd lost all hope, because he will take 15 days. After that, only 5 days left. So I will not be able to make it. So that was a Friday evening. And then I went home and then Monday I had taken leave there actually. So Monday morning when I was taking breakfast, one postman came. So he just rang the bell. I went and opened the door. He gave one small packet, no, small parcel, registered post. I thought, what is this registered post has come? Then I just saw it. It was from Gurdaspur. Okay, some colonel, somebody from Gurdaspur. When I opened it, it was my old passport. Yeah. So then that gentleman, the colonel from the retired colonel from Indian Army, he had written a letter. I found your passport near the American embassy. As your phone number was not there, I could not contact you. So I am sending it through register post. And the gentleman has written, my expenses is 16 rupees. Please MO this money to this address. So I sent him more money and told him, wrote back to him, please do langar at Gurdaspur Gurudwara. So I was really very happy. But now I had the task, I was thinking, if the passport, if they had cancelled my passport, what? Then suddenly I went and rushed to the passport officer. So I sent my card. He did not call me for 10-15 minutes. So, and then finally, as soon as I entered his room, he started shouting at me. He said, if you pressure me like this, you can't get your passport early. It has to take it, so it takes its own time. Then I smiled at him and said, sir, I got my passport back. I just came to inform you and to know that whether you have not hard-listed it or not. Then he started smiling. No, nothing has happened. You can use this passport. And then first I have to stop the process of making the new passport. So then he called somebody and said he stopped the process of his new passport. And then I went with the passport. Immediately I rushed to Delhi. Then I checked on the online for visa interview. No date was available till the date I have to departure in the 15 days after 1 month only. So then this is another another problem. So then suddenly what to do? One first secretary of American embassy was also traveling with us. So he was the group leader. He was the coordinator for us. So I contacted him what to do. He said, you take whatever date is available, you take it and mail that to me, and then I will do the needful. So I took the date, whatever is available, and I mailed to him. So he got the date in the next 3 days for me. And then he also told me, you ask them to give your passport after stamping the visa by hand. Otherwise, normally they send the visa through post or a courier. So went for the interview, the biometrics interview was over, and then I requested them for the passport to be handed over by hand, and then they agreed. So they said, you come in the evening and collect the passport. So I collected the passport also, and then everything was set. So finally I went into US with the, the on the invitation of the US government, and then stayed there for 10 days. Yeah. So then came back. Now actually my daughter is in US. She is working for Amazon in Seattle there. So after that, I visited some 4 or 5 times. Now, whenever I go to US and then travel internally, so I get a TSA stamping on my boarding pass. TSA stamping means no security check. We have heard that, Salman Khan was checked thoroughly, so-and-so was checked thoroughly. So with those who have a TSA stamp, there's no check. You need not have to remove your shoes, belt, coat, nothing. You have to just walk through. Yeah, but there is a separate security checking channel for them. So, probably that's because of the earlier history. Now my daughter is jealous, she says, I have been traveling so many times here, not even once I got TSA, and you get TSA every time. Yeah. So, so finally everything ended happily. Now, what I would like to say here, here is the most of the events which took place, whether the getting transferred or missing the Kellogg's training, or losing my passport, getting the duplicate passport, all those events, they are not under my control. Whatever has to happen, has happened. But how do we react to them? So that is depends on us, to our mindset. I could have left them, okay, the is gone, this is not in my fate to go to USA, I can leave it. But otherwise, if you keep trying, pursuing that, if you are trying, looking at the other alternatives, other avenues, how you can achieve that, that is within us, because that is dependent on our mindset. Again, as I said, our mindset will decide our thoughts, and our thoughts will decide our behaviors, feelings, emotions, and then our actions accordingly. Yeah. Pradeep, how do I open my PowerPoint? I just have some 3 slides.
Okay, you can just easier. First, you need to open the PowerPoint.
Yeah. Is it visible?
No, not yet. You need to do the screen sharing. So on the bottom line, you
Yeah.
have the chat and everything. There is a green color symbol arrow pointing upward. Click on that. On the bottom line where you have the microphone, video, and all that option, right?
Okay, that has not come here actually.
You can just wave the,
Okay.
yeah, the mouse. If you wave the mouse, you'll be able to
Yeah.
get that, screen. I mean to say that continuous line. On the left hand side, you have mute, then stop video, participants, chat,
Yeah.
screen share, green color normally with the arrow towards upward. Click on that.
Mm, I'm not getting that.
Actually, this is next to that record reactions.
No, I'm getting only mute, stop video, more, and leave. Can you make me
Yeah,
co-host?
yeah, I'll make that.
Yeah.
Yes, I made you a co-host. Please try right now.
Yeah.
Screen share is already there in the system, no, sir?
Yeah, it is by default.
Okay.
It is there. It should be there. Maybe can you try making full screen and then try? I think we lost him.
No, no, he's there.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's sharing.
Yeah, now we are able to share. Now you can select the PowerPoint, which is already open, sir. But I don't see your PowerPoint is open.
It's there, no mindset PowerPoint.
The folder? No, on the bottom, I cannot see that folder open. Okay. Shyamsunder, sir, can you hear me?
You're on mute, sir. Unmute.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Now we can see your desktop, all the icons.
Yeah.
So you need to select, just do Alt, press hold Alt, and then start hitting Tab. And once that screen goes to PowerPoint, just release it. But have you already opened it, Shyam
Yeah,
sir?
yeah, I've already opened it.
Okay, fine. Then you just need to select it. Just
Yeah, but I'm
press
not getting that actually.
Oh, you're not getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you send it to me? You can email me and I'll be able to open it from here for you.
Okay.
Or give a try. If it doesn't, then I can do it. No problem.
Yeah.
You can again open PowerPoint, sir.
Success, one definition is success is 20% strategy plus 80% mindset. This mindset plays a very major role. Now, whether this mindset is a fixed mindset or a growth mindset makes a huge difference. Let me share a very interesting experiment conducted at Harvard. Yeah, in Harvard, there was a big cage, very big cage, and in the middle of the cage there was one long pole of about 10-15 feet, and on top of the pole they tied about hundreds of very ripe bananas, and then they put about 10 monkeys inside the cage, and then they locked the cage. The monkeys and bananas, so the monkeys started climbing the pole to get the bananas. Probably these monkeys are from the in Indian corporate sector, I think, because if somebody tries to go up, others will pull their leg. So accordingly, other monkeys, they were trying to pull the leg of the monkey which was trying to uh, get the bananas. So there was a big fight among them. And then finally, one monkey reached the top, and when it was about to put its hand on the bananas, then suddenly they threw very cold water, what we call ice cold water, on all the monkeys, and all the monkeys fell down. So they were all, monkeys were shivering. For 15 minutes, monkeys were shivering. Then after 15 minutes, when they regained their strength, again they made another attempt. The second time also same thing happened. When one monkey was about to put its hand on the bananas, the ice cold water was thrown from all directions. The monkeys fell down. This happened for about 5 times. Then monkeys realized this is not for us. There is some danger here. These bananas are not for eating. So they kept quiet for half an hour. When these monkeys did not try any new attempt, then they took out one old monkey and replaced with a new monkey. This new monkey saw the bananas and the remaining 9 monkeys. It was surprised. There are ripe bananas are there, and how these monkeys are sitting idle. They are not making any attempt. So that monkey, the new monkey, wanted to make an attempt. All the other monkeys fell on that monkey, beat it up, and they said, they say, don't go near that. Cold water will be thrown on us. So don't make any effort there. So that monkey half-heartedly believed, and it also remained silent. Then one by one, they replaced all the 9 monkeys with the 10 monkeys. Now there were all the 10 monkeys were new, And none of the monkeys had the first-hand experience of ice water being thrown on them. But still, all these monkeys did not make any attempt to go for the bananas. So they all believed that, there is a danger there, water will be thrown on us, and then they did not make any attempt. Most of us are also like this actually. If somebody, our neighbor or somebody says, this is bad, this is not good, investing in shares is, the so and so has lost money, so you don't try this, or this training business is a very difficult one, you don't get many opportunities, and then we believe them. So those is the sort of fixed mindset. We get bogged down or influenced by what others say, mostly maybe by conditioning from our birth, surroundings, environment, and or the neighbors. So that is a fixed mindset. Whereas a growth mindset is trying new avenues, new ventures, new innovations. The most of the innovative companies like Apple or even Amazon. Amazon is one of the highly innovative company. And even in India, there's Titan and then Havels. These are the companies which encourage growth mindset among their employees so that they become more creative and more innovative. In this current world, innovation is the only way for an organization to grow, because the people, the consumers are becoming more and more demanding, and then their needs and desires are increasing every day. So in that way, the people have to, the organizations, the companies, the manufacturers, they have to innovate their products, their services, even their business models also, they have to innovate that. Yeah. Next, in order to do this, we have to ask 5 questions to ourselves. What did we learn from today's performance? Whether it's a today's talk or a today's training or anything, we need to ask, what did we learn from today's? Because every day we can learn new things. So if we start asking, then only our growth mindset will enhance. That it becomes a booster for the growth mindset. And the second is, what steps did we take to be successful today? What did we did today, so that that can be repeated tomorrow? Yeah. And then what are some different strategies we could have used? Even in my example of my personal story, what are the different strategies I could have used? Yeah. So even while giving this talk, what are the different strategies we could have used? What are the different examples I could have given? We can have the questions you can ask ourselves at the end of the day. How did we keep going when things got tough? Always in life, we'll face some tough times. How did we keep going? So, and then finally, what can we learn from our competitor today? Yeah. See, because the competitors will always be one step ahead of us, and we have to be one step ahead of them. Then we will have to learn from them. So if we ask these 5 questions, definitely this will help us in developing the growth mindset. Now, 5 ways to achieve growth mindset. One is that, first one is accept that you don't have to achieve perfection. They say perfection is a myth, but I'm not sure whether it is a myth or true, but definitely there has to be room for improvement. The Sachin Tendulkar, he executes his square drive perfectly, but in spite of that, he regularly practices this. He doesn't believe that, okay, I achieved my perfection in square drive, this is enough of it. He doesn't do that. He keeps on trying it. He always keeps on perfecting it. Similarly, we also need to have to keep on perfecting that. We have tried to strive to achieve perfection, but perfection should always be the target. Second is, learn to view challenges as opportunities. This COVID is one of the greatest challenge. The vaccines which have been invented or found now has been done within a year now. Earlier days, even a vaccine used to take about 10 years or so. That's why some people are still not believing this vaccine, but this was a challenge actually. So this challenge has been converted into opportunity by a few of the pharma companies. I would like to give 2 examples here. One company is Makers Asylum in Mumbai. when this COVID struck, there was a huge demand for masks. In those days, there was only a one mask which the doctors used to use, surgical mask. But after that, many companies, even including some branded companies like Allen, Soli, then, the many companies, they came out with masks with color, design colors, with design shape, everything. Now, this company, the makers Asylum, they came with a face shield. I think most of the people must have seen that, the face shield, which costs about 75 rupees or so, 75 to 100 rupees. It was a different change, because when you are using a mask, you will have to put it on your ear. It used to pain, and then speaking was difficult, breathing was difficult, talking was difficult. So they came with a face mask with an adjustable band, so that one size can fit anybody. And then that company, initially they started making about 1 lakh per day with great difficulty. They started making about 40 lakhs per day. They uh, gave the they gave the franchisee to about 40 cities in the country. And then so they started producing from various places. Even if you have a margin of 10 rupees on that, you imagine how much they made. And that was a very, very small company. So during this COVID, they used this challenge as an opportunity for them. Another company was called Choir.ai. During this COVID, meeting doctors was difficult. There were many patients whose x-rays was taken, and then they were to go and meet the doctors for x-ray analysis. That was becoming difficult. So this company came out with a software. If that software is installed, you just take a photo of that x-ray and send it to them, and then that software will analyze the x-ray and give a report to the doctor. So again, this product became a very big hit. They sent it to exported to about 15 countries within 3 months. So within 3 months, they earned a good lot of money. Money is one thing separate, but how much of ease they created for the consumers. So in that way, so these are the few companies which have used this Corona challenge as an opportunity. How did they do it? Because of the growth mindset. Once you have a growth mindset, then only the innovation is possible. People, they call it as the what they call with the different names, like open mindset, closed mindset, the grasshopper mindset, many things, many people they call it. But I would like to go with the growth mindset. And the third one is, be conscious of your thoughts, because the mindset decides the thoughts. First thing is, we need to be conscious of our thoughts, whether we are getting the positive thoughts or the negative thoughts. Once we are conscious, then only it is possible for us to convert our negative thoughts into a positive thoughts. And the fourth one is, value the process, not the end. Here, the process, the making an attempt is more important, not the end. Sometimes you may get success, you may not get the success all the time, but still the process is more important. That's what the growth mindset will teach us. And then fifth is, learn to appreciate feedback. Feedback plays a very, very important role. When most of us, when we say feedback, we always think it in the negative way, and then we don't take it positively. We don't take it happily. And even those who give the feedback, most of the time they will be pointing out only the demerits of that or the negatives of that. So I would like to share one format for the giving feedback. It is called as DIQI format. DIQI. D stands for delight. First, whenever any talk is given or any person has done any good job, there will always be some delightful points, delightful topics, delightful subjects. So that first we'll have to start with the delight. And then next is I. I is improvement. What improvements can be done in that? Whatever he has spoken, whatever he has done, what improvements could have been done? Third one is question. Because once a speaker is speaking, what he intends may not reach to the receiver in the same intent. They may take it in a different way. So in that way, you have to ask questions whether your understanding is correct. The speaker is also thinking in the same way. That's the cue. And the next I is idea. You will have to give them the new ideas how his performance can be improved. So if we follow this DIQA model, again, our own growth mindset will become the growth mindset, and as well as that of the other person also. And finally, we don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. So, so to end with, I will say, change our mindset and change our reality. So if we change our mindset, we can change our today's reality. Yeah. So thank you, gentlemen. This is what I wanted to share. If you have any feedback on this, so I would definitely welcome that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You made it actually. Your story was really good actually. Your experience, the way you took it, the way you experienced the passport laws and all those things, I could relate to that. It was really, but yes, of course, that particular moment will get upset.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, you have to take it as life is like that only. Life is unpredictable. We cannot plan everything as per our whims and fancies or as per our listing. What has to happen will definitely happen. But how we take it, how we react, whether we react or we accept it, and try to find a solution. That's what's important. Many people get upset and then they never go beyond that.
They may not pursue that actually.
That is most important. So I
think the choice is ours. So this mindset will open up the choices for us, and then you can choose whatever is the best at that time.
Yeah, that one story also you told regarding that monkey. I'm also reminded about one story wherein a young elephant, when it is very young, they tie it to that pole to see that, because they want to tame that elephant. So it keeps that as young, it will have so much of energy, try to pull it out. Every time it tries, it will not come. But finally, afterwards, once it is grown also, just by a push, it can put it. But in spite of that, it will never do, because it is already trained that. It is already, because it is from the childhood, it has tried it. It has not happened. So now it has come to a conclusion that I cannot pull that pole, though it has got the powers. You can just touch it, it will fall. But in spite of that, it is not doing it because it is trained. So that is our childhood mindset. That's what our school days also, whenever our parents or something, our parents or our teachers who subdued us actually, telling that you are not enough, you cannot do that, you are inefficient. See, this comparison, what happens, that we carry on throughout our life. See, unconsciously, we know, in spite of we have got capacity, we can do it, but unconsciously, it's already trained, no? We are already trained to that level. So we don't want to come out of that at all. We get stuck. Most of the people here today, because they are not successful, is because of that mindset. They don't want to come. They cannot, because they are not taught to do it. The education system has done that. And now we are not able to, because by upskilling, now what we are doing is, by upskilling, we are getting all this knowledge. Yes, what we have done is wrong and wrong. If you are not upskilling, you will not learn that language. I mean, you will not learn that knowledge also. So that is another thing. But anyway, good, sir. But this thing was, your stories were good. Actually, it was very encouraging also. Encouraging the way you took it. That because I could relate that passport when you lost, because passport is very important document. You cannot lose it also. So that is very important. And I don't know how you lost it. Maybe in the transit somewhere you might have.
Somewhere you must have lost it. I could have. Now, after that, I think, I could have inquired there. I should have asked.
That's what happened.
You could make announcement, if somebody has found, but I didn't do anything at that time.
You got upset, I came back actually.
Yeah.
Sir, Mr. Shyamsunder, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Professor Sir.
Sir, the first point which you had mentioned, that 5 ways, no?
Yeah.
One thing which we all believe is perfection is not at all for the human being, sir. What we, at least to my students, I tell them, try to excel in whatever you do.
Right.
Perfection is something which, something which, and when you had mentioned that as a first point, I just want to ask you, what made you to look at this as a perfection?
No. I said, perfection is, we are not to achieve perfection.
No.
I didn't say achieve perfection. Most of us think that,
Accept that you cannot. That's
yes,
what you have written as a point.
no, I have written as a point and written, think that we are not to achieve perfection. Yeah.
Perfection is a myth, actually. It's
Because
actually a
most
myth.
of the time we think, once I get this, I done this, then only I will do this. Well, let's say when I complete my PhD, then only I will start this. No, don't wait for that. You start doing whatever you want to do.
Perfection.
That's why I gave the example of Sachin Tendulkar. Even though he has achieved perfection in square drive, but
Yes.
still he practices. He thinks that he has not achieved perfection.
Absolutely. That's right. You gave that example, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, when you talked about this losing your passport, you
Yeah.
sent me down my memory lane.
Okay.
Way back when I was 10 years old or something, I had taken 4 of my friends. 5 of us went. My mother gave me 10 rupees to go and eat something in the exhibition that was happening.
Okay.
So all of us went. When we ordered things and we were about to get it, that person asked, give money. So I put my hand inside my pocket. The money was not there. Instead, I found a hole in the pocket. So I did not know where the money had fallen. So all my friends were looking at me. I said, sorry, the money had fallen. So all of us went and cried. We searched in that exhibition ground. It's a huge ground. So we tried. No. So we walked back home and I told my mother that I lost the 10 rupees. So then she gave me one more 10 rupees. She said, please be careful. Don't put it in this pocket. Be careful. So I put it in this pocket. We go all the way there. And I put my hand in that. This pocket also was torn and the 10 rupees had fallen. So believe me, all of us were feeling so terrible that day. We all came home and when my mother asked, all of you had something to eat? All of us said, yes, it was very nice.
Yeah, and that too, you're treating your friend and telling, okay, come, I will treat you today, coffee or something. And finally,
So that is one thing I can never forget. So
Yeah.
anytime, even the brand new trousers I wear, first thing I always do is check whether my pockets are okay. Because by mistake we do something and it falls down, is something which I don't want to go through again.
absolutely.
And then let me share, I was so grateful to that colonel. And then in after a few years, I had been to Leh Ladakh area, Kargil area, all those things with one of my army doctor. We stayed in army guest houses there. Then I saw how the army people were definitely living there, their living conditions. Then when I got an opportunity to create job, so I recruited a few ex-servicemen as a matter of gratitude to them, So I have a high respect for them, for their sincerity, dedication, and commitment, That's a really remarkable one.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. We do have here Lieutenant Colonel Naveen Kumar, sir,
Yeah.
Mauritius. Yes. A
Uh,
lot of respect for them. Really great. Do you want to say anything, sir? Naveen, sir, you can go ahead, please.
I believe maybe we allow the other senior members to speak. Then maybe last I'll say something.
No. That's fine. There is nobody senior or junior
No
here. We don't
seniority.
consider like that in this platform.
It
We
was a
all
nice
consider to be
talk.
friends. Yeah. It's
We
equal.
thank
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Shyamsunder. It was a very nice talk he gave. He projected his experience. He showed that small steps made a bigger step, if you add it. And he gave a very practical example of his life, like not big things. It can happen. And it does happen to everyone that you do have events are not controlled. You cannot control the event that is happening. It's based on your karma or maybe other circumstances.
Yeah.
But uh, the choice you have, what kind of choice you make, that's what he wanted to say. The action taken is yours. So it boils down to the choice. So the choice should always be guided by principles. If it is guided by principle, you'll never go wrong. You'll always be right. And we were talking about Gita about initially. So the principle is to always be on the right path. Even if you're losing, even if that made a loss for you, but do not give up on principles. That is an important thing. We had just a small story very quickly. We had the daughter of one of the presidents of Colombia uh, having a French, she had a French wife. So uh, daughter was mostly staying in Paris, but she was a very influential politician. She was kidnapped. In Colombia, there's a drug cartel and so on. She was kidnapped and she had to stay in the jungle for 2 years, 3 years, how long she was stayed. She was abused. And she related, finally, she was released from there. She was released by an army operation. And when she came back, she told her story. And in her story, there was a part that there were other hostages taken. And she was someone who didn't know how to swim. And they could see from the place where they were kept, they were being changed each and every time. But the last place where she was being kept, there was a river. They were going to take bath in that river. And they made a plan to swim in that river and, rule that river route just to run away. Herself and one of the hostages. And that hostage knew how to swim. And daily, he was teaching her how to swim. So she learned the swimming.
Yeah.
But on the day they run, they could run away. And, those people, hostage takers, they also had all the facilities, started chasing these people. They went quite far after 24 hours of running without food, without water in the jungle like this. They were exhausted. And her friend had a problem. He was asthmatic, every time he was just falling down like this and he was, falling unconscious like this. And she had to attend him. And at some point they were running, they could hear the dog chasing them. They could hear the the hostage takers coming in the distance. And the friend just fell down. The male friend fell down. Again, he had a problem of breathing problem or whatever. And he told her, run away, you go back. Never mind, at least both of us run away for our life. You will be safe. So just run in that direction, you will get the highway over there. You go, leave me. I cannot go with you. I'll be, a liability with you. I cannot go. She made a few steps forward, then she came back. She sat there. She looked after him. She didn't leave her. And eventually they were caught and later released. Then the question came, why? Then she said, it's a matter of principle. We have decided to go together. At one point, I cannot just look after myself. And in her lecture, people who have gone like this, she said, if you want to know in life whether you're going right or wrong, just follow your principles. Sometimes, it's difficult to make the choice where to go left or to go right, But if you follow the principles, you will never go wrong,
Yeah.
So that's the
Right.
point that I just wanted to say. And I thank Mr. Shyamsunder. It was a very delightful, like you say, talk. I
Yeah.
use the
Thank
same
you.
words.
Thank you.
And it has lots of innovative ideas like you have thrown, how to practically move forward in life. What are the simple difficulties you get and how to take it lightly and how to move forward. Sometimes you have to accept loss. You have to accept it and make another plan and go. And like you said, one door closes, there's another one which opens. And of course, so many examples like this, and I leave it. And I would like to thank you, sir. It was a very good talk, and examples were simple, yet quite deep in explaining to people. Because like we said, small steps big can turn into a big result, into a big achievement. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Navinji.
Thank you, Naveen sir. Thanks for the feedback. Great, awesome. Yeah. Vivek sir, we want you to ask some questions to Shyamsunder sir, please. So we can't hear.
Audio,
Yeah,
audio.
we can't hear you.
Not audible.
No, we can't hear you, sir.
No voice, no voice.
Hello.
Can you check your phone microphone?
You got me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. It was really wonderful presentation by Dr. Mr. Shyamsunder, and then that was added. A very valuable addition was done by Dr. Shivkumarji and Navinji also. And it is really it's a very simple topic, but then if we go into deep, we understand how important it is, to control our mindset and our life. Many times we take too much seriously, unknowingly also, but the things turn out to be very simple later on, and then we realize, oh, it was not so difficult as we thought about it. And that is what I learned from today's speech. And also Mr. Sai Raja has added, he's a humorous person. I really like him, and he makes all the sessions in such a humorous way, and makes it very what in a very light sort of meet. So I always appreciate his being
Thank you,
together.
sir.
That's
Thank you, thank you,
that's so kind of you. Thank you very much.
thank
And
you.
Pradeep, of course, you are the anchor for all these things, and I always appreciate you, the way you conduct the meetings. Thanks to you also. Thank you very
That's
much.
fine, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Mr.
Actually, when our Lieutenant Colonel was talking, he was talking about the principle and how it should be maintained. Absolutely right. That's why in management, we always say doing it effectively and efficiently, not only achieving the result, but when you want to achieve the result, you must follow the accepted principles
Right, right.
and apply them so that your efforts as well as the way you approach, use the efforts should be both effective and efficient.
Yeah, the way I
Absolutely
put
right.
it, the process is important, not the end. The
Yeah,
process we
absolutely.
follow, the right principles, that's
Yeah.
more important than the result.
That's what even our sir was telling, that it is very important that we should stick to the principles that is acceptable, that is accepted. It's very, very true. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Ankurji, can you put some light, sir? Any questions, anything, please?
Unmute, sir,
He's
unmute.
also mute.
Ankur, sir, you are on mute. Can you unmute your microphone?
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening.
Good evening.
Salam, assalamu alaikum, sat sri akal, namaste,
Yeah.
everything.
Yes, yes.
I'd like to see nice people, like-minded people who want to grow each other. This is also spirituality, actually, which we want to help others to grow, and we want to help ourselves to grow, actually. And nice presentation by the gentleman, and how the things happen, and how the things teach you the lessons, actually, because after all, destiny has to play his role, and he's there. अगर वो किसी और व्यक्ति को मिल जाता जो व्यक्ति पासपोर्ट नहीं देना चाह रहा था, या जो व्यक्ति इस काबिल नहीं होता, या जिसको पासपोर्ट ही समझ नहीं आ रहा था क्या होता है, there's not so many people that हमें भी कभी समझ नहीं आता था पासपोर्ट है क्या, पासपोर्ट देखना ही समझ नहीं आता था किसी को, तो what will they do? अगर इस कवाड़ी को मिल जाता या किसी और को मिल जाता, कहा जाए, तो वो मे भी आप तक नहीं पहुंचता. मगर देखिए डेस्टिनी ने रोल प्ले किया, परमात्मा ने कैसा रोल प्ले किया कि वह ऐसे व्यक्ति को दिलाया जो इसकी वैल्यू को जानता था, उसने तुरंत एक्शन लिया और आप तक वो पहुंच गया. अगर वो घटना नहीं घटती तो वो प्रोसेस के अंदर किस तरीके से जाता, कैसे होता, तो वो फिर बिल्कुल भी सोचने की स्थिति में नहीं है. तो डियर फ्रेंड्स, it's all I feel, actually, when we talk with some successful people, they say is effort also, no doubt, is planning, studies, and whatever we do in learning management, there is, but destiny has plays own role. And my friend also said, without principle you cannot run because God has made the principles to run this whole universe. You don't disturb each and everyone. When you see one tree is not disturbing another tree, one animal is not disturbing another animal. जो लोग शाकाहारी हैं वो शाकाहारी खा रहे हैं, जो मांसाहारी है मांसाहारी खा रहे हैं, वो शाकाहारी मांसाहारी दोनों मिक्स करके नहीं खा रहे हैं। Actually, देखिए किस तरीके से डेस्टिनी को उन्होंने बनाया हुआ है, और किस तरीके से एक भी प्रिंसिपल किस तरीके से अग्नि और जल एक जगह रह रहे हैं। हमारी बॉडी के अंदर 5 तत्व हैं, अग्नि, जल, पृथ्वी, वायु, आकाश। देखिए इन दोनों को किस तरीके से मेल किया हुआ है। अग्नि जल के अपोजिट है, मगर इन दोनों को बहुत अच्छी तरह मर्ज करके सिस्टम में बनाया हुआ है। तो भाई बहुत राइटली ही सेड कि व्हेन वी रन द लाइफ विद द प्रिंसिपल्स, देन वी एबल टू डू go to the right direction. Actually, very nice to hear everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Or thank you very much, sir. Nice shirt, shining, great. And Raja Saab, nice laughing, same laughing, great. Keep it up. I like you this way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baldev ji.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Pradeep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, Pradeep.
Shyamji, it was really an amazing session, and I've learned so many things from you. Even though you have met, main thing you met Ratan Tata ji, Dhirubhai Ambani ji. Even though those people, they are the role models, and meeting them also and getting a darshan, just like we in Hindu, this thing we want to meet somebody, some great spiritual leader. Just meeting them for a second, their drishti. That the energy flows through the drishti, even through their eyes. Just meeting them and having a glimpse of them is also great. So you have met those great people. I was really not knowing about it. Yes, in the future I'm going to speak about this in my future lectures. Definitely I'll incorporate this.
In fact, I missed APJ Abdul Kalam by a year or so. I moved into Asian village in Delhi. Mr. Kalam had shifted from there to the president place,
Parliament House. Okay.
Otherwise, a very early morning walk, people used to say, used to go for early morning walk when he was the scientific advisor or so, So I was staying in the road next behind him, actually.
Oh, is it? Wow, wonderful. That's really nice.
I just missed him.
Right. And the story which you said about the passport, yes. Immediately I connected it to my mark sheet. When I've been to an interview with Dell International. I have collected all my documents, and I was in auto going to Domlur main office. And I just left all those, my marks card of my engineering of all the 8 semesters in that auto rickshaw. And finally, when I'm in the interview giving all my papers, I do not find that. I have my convocation, but I do not have my 8 semesters engineering marks card. And they said, I'm sorry, Pradeep, we cannot admit you because the HR policy is that we need all your marks card. Who knows, you must have forged or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had already resigned in my previous organization, Converges. And it was just like, do or die position. Then I went to the local police station in the place where I was staying. And then I took a, FIR copy. I went to Mysore University. I got that. So it was a lot of hassle, going through all these things. So it created a lot of, this thing, vigilance in me, saying that in future, I need to be very, very careful. As you said, you had taken that cover, right? Plastic cover. So from that day onwards, I decided to carry a bag. Even if it is nothing, just one book or even one paper, I see that I carry a bag and put all the stuffs in that. Because sometimes in a hassle, there is always a tendency to leave something. And that was really a turning moment. But the great thing is that they waited for me. They waited for 3 months. They said, this job is yours. It is assured. We cannot give you an official letter since you're not submitted all the documents, but yes, the job is yours. And I was very, very thankful to him. It was really great.
After this incidents, I've become extra careful with my passport.
Yeah, I think you'll never forget it.
Extra careful is also dangerous.
Yes. But yes, that is a great moment.
Yeah.
And another thing which I learned from you is about the monkey, how the banana was kept and the cold water was showered from the top. Yes, this was a new learning for me. I've heard it somewhere, some speakers speaking, but today I've got it exactly what you exactly meant by that. Thank you very much. I will definitely go ahead and start speaking about this. And another, thank you very much for that feedback, which is really very important to improve ourselves. The DIQI, that is delight, improvement, question, and ideas. I really appreciate that. I've learned so many things about the growth mindset, about the fixed mindset. Yes, I'm doing a research on this, on the psychology and everything. Since maybe in another 2 or 3 years, I'll be very, very proficient in this particular field, because
Okay,
it's
good.
just I'm just in lower than LKG right now, just working on to getting
No, no.
with the best peoples in the
Beginning
world.
is important. The
Beginning
level
is
is not
important.
important.
You will reach there. But thank you very much. It was really an amazing session where I think I've learned so many things from here. Maybe there were only a couple of them. That's fine, because quantity doesn't matter. The quality is really important. The quality of the people in and around you, the having the same mindset, that is really important. That really counts, sir. Thank you very much for coming into this platform, sir, and spending your valuable time. You could have spent it with your family. And I do remember you just told it was your marriage anniversary of
No,
your
no, my daughter's marriage
marriage
anniversary.
anniversary, and still you came in here, and really appreciate that, sir. Thank you very
No,
much.
because as Naveen sir said, principle, when I'd committed to you for 21st,
That's right.
let's do it on 21st.
Yes. Thank you.
Celebrations can wait.
Yes. Thank you very
We
much.
have to congratulate Mr. Shyamsunder as well as Mr. Pradeep for having this platform of mindset, so that even we are all able to spend some
Yes,
time and learn from others. That's the most
Yeah,
important thing.
that's true. Yeah, we all learn from others only, So yeah, let me thank all of you, So I also have learned something or the other from all of us today.
Yes. And the other
Thank you.
story I just loved about, which Naveen ji shared with us,
Yeah.
about that, the hostage being taken and how she was released. And even though she could have moved, even she was very influential person, she could have moved and never thought about the other person, but she stayed back because of her principles. That was really amazing, sir. I will definitely recite about this thing. Maybe I get an opportunity with the students or wherever it's possible. It's a learning for me. Thank you very much for sharing this story. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would like to tell you that next week we'll be having a speaker from Bangalore, and she is an educator. She's a trainer, and she has just moved from the level of principal to an advisory board type, like a director. And she's a dancer. She's a singer. She's an all-rounder. Okay. And her name is Vinita Anil. So she will be speaking. She'll be the next speaker for next week. So I hope all of you would be joining that session too, and having a great moment where we'll be learning from her, because she's great. I would say I call her as Saraswati, having lot of knowledge and sharing it with others. She has also won, just last year she has won one of the best principal in this, I think in Bangalore, whole zone or something like that. So she's an excellent speaker too, and I hope we'll be learning a lot from her too. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradeep ji. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody has any views before we close for the day?
Thank you,
Thank
Pradeep,
you.
for your
Thank you, Pradeep.
Thank you.
long-standing views and appreciating our Shyamsunder sir.
Yes.
You made a tremendous job of doing that job also. So it was very good actually.
Yeah, it
Thank
was a
you.
very
Thank you,
nice,
sir.
nice
Thank you,
evening
Raja
with
sir.
Mr. Shyamsunder.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and I
sir.
also request all of you, since Raja sir is one of the author in between us, I request all of you to please promote his book, because he's an author. Wherever you can just tell people to buy that. It's an autobiography of his life, how it has changed his life and everything. So I request all of you to please promote his book, The $1 Million Life, which is readily available in Amazon. Anybody can go to Amazon and buy it. It doesn't cost much. I think it's only 240 or 250 rupees.
Yeah, no, in Pothi.com is also available. Pothi.com is for Indians, it is cheap actually.
How do you
Amazon is very expensive, because Amazon, what happens, for it is an American this thing. So Pothi.com it's available.
can you spell that? www.
Pothi.com.
Okay, let me make a note of it.
Yeah, $1 Million Life, if you put it, it is available. It's under the stacks.
Perfect. So wherever possible, maybe even Naveen sir can try promoting it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll look into it and I'll try to.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all your appreciation.
Yeah,
God bless
because
you all.
if it is in the Kindle subscription, because I read it free, because I
Kindle subscription is available on Amazon. It is cheap
It's
actually. Yeah, it's 99 cents only. It is available.
And wherever you get an occasion, I would say let's promote and help each other, right? So
Definitely.
we'll all keep growing in our respective places and just reach some, the global level.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
Definitely, definitely.
Sure, sure.
You have got all the capacity to do it also.
yes. And maybe anybody has some program also, you can let us know. If you have a particular program, you conduct this, maybe it's paid or unpaid, that is fine, but we can start promoting, all of you, so everybody can reach their heights, because that is the real perspective. Because we have a lot of knowledge, maybe we are not able to reach across to many people. So if you can tell us, or in this platform also, if you can let us know, we can, tell people. Just
Sure.
like I was not knowing Shyam Sundar sir, I've met Ratan Tata ji or Dhirubhai Ambani ji. His kids have, the classmate was Nasruddin Shah's younger child, and all those things we were not knowing
Occasion
about.
has to come to speak on that, no?
Yes, but still, it's really nice. See, the opportunity, you got an opportunity, you spoke, but in that you have left a lot of things over here, and it is going to spread across, okay, on a positive note, in how you came and entertained us in every possible way. So thank you very much, deep
Yeah.
from my heart, and especially being a Sunday, all of you have come here, and I just pray to the Almighty that He gives you in return for this 1.5 hour which you spent, multiple things, whatever you want in your life. It might be money, it might be good relationship, good sound health, or peace of mind and happiness, whatever it is. I just pray to the Almighty to give you everything. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you,
we'll
thank
see you
you, thank
soon
you.
next week, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. All the best,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.